And I'm John.
And we're the geezers on the go.
Go, go, go!
This time we're at Ortona South Campground near LaBelle, Florida. It's an Army Corp of Engineers campground with 51 paved sites and a lot of southern charm. Ortona is on the Caloosahatchee River, part of the Okeechobee Waterway that connects the Atlantic Ocean with the Gulf of Mexico. All the sites have water and electric. Next to the campground is one of 5 locks on the 150-mile-long waterway. And yes, it's not far from Lake Okeechobee, where an airboat ride is a must. This is our site number 32. We're in the first loop, even though the lower numbers are in the second loop. But we're right at the end. And you can look out there again into the pastures. Lots of space. Lots of green space on this side. And come around here, all this space is ours too. And a pretty good size area for sit out. We have a couple of palm trees and a nice good picnic table. A paved site. And we back up right up to the waterway here, which actually is part of the intercoastal waterway. There are locks here. People come and bring their bikes. And just a few short steps from our campsite. Come around here. And there's little walkways down to the water. The water comes out through here. There's one of the dams. There's the Army Corp of Engineers Park, so there seems to always be a dam. And the other side is the locks. Let's see if we find some boats going through. And here you can go fishing. Walk down, there's a pathway down to the water, and there's sort of 2 levels. You could fish on the higher level, or you could walk down. The side closest to the road as you come in looks out at big pastures, and there's lots of cows out there if you're in the distance. And what's really good is there's a cell tower right there, so you get pretty good cell service. We have AT&T and it's been excellent so far. At the end of the loop where we are, it's actually the first loop as you come into the park, even though it's the higher numbers. There's a few pull-throughs. It's 40, 41, 42, and 43. You're right near the canal. Not as close as where we are, but pretty good sites, and like the other ones, they're all paved, with a little gravel area where your picnic table is. Pretty good thing here. Seems to be a lot of snowbirders here, and if you have this is the Army Corp of Engineers Park, so if you have the National Parks Pass, you do get a half price. So it's normally $30, we got it for $15, and it has all sites have water and electric. And I've seen lots of different places where people have come from. We're in New York. There's another New York. I've seen Wisconsin, Ohio, Indiana. So I think it's a popular spot for snowbirders, even if it is sort of in the middle of nowhere. It seems to get very windy here once it starts to warm up in the afternoon. And it's tough to keep your awnings out. But the sites here again are all paved. The ones this side are on the canal, and it's not too far of a walk to the bathroom. And again, the ones all the way at this end look out to the big pasture, while the ones on this side all back up into the by the canal. And you can walk along the canal. There's places to fish. You can drive, walk, or bike to the other side of the campground over a bridge that spans a small creek. On the right-hand side, the sites back up to open pasture land, and on the left, they sit along a gently sloping lawn down to the river. Near the other bank of the river are the locks. Just starting to open the locks here. There's a sailboat getting ready to come in. You can see the gates opening. They'll come through these locks and then they're going to close the gate and fill it up. I hear it. Here comes the water. Guys hanging on because the water's pushing them, coming into the lock. Steadily rising. As you can tell, the water's risen enough that he's almost up a couple of feet. And it looks like the water is just about ready. I thought before it moved a little bit, but any time now this gate should open because the water will be even. Looks like the sailboat's getting ready to go through. This is cool. We sure saw a lot of different kind of boats coming through the lock, sailboats, big boats, little boats. But they say there's about 15,000 boats come through there a year.
15,000, that's a lot of boats.
I know. And should any of their manatees happen to be swimming through, they close it all up and they let them swim through until they get to the other side, I guess.
Yeah, it's quite a lock system that they have. It goes all the way from the Atlantic Ocean to the Gulf. So you can cut right across in your boat if you want to.
Through the middle of Florida, yeah.
For a little park out in the middle of nowhere,
yeah.
There was quite a bit there to do. Jill likes to ride her bicycle, so she took a nice little bike ride. There was a lot of fishing, although we didn't have our fishing licenses at that time. There's a lot of wildlife and some life that's not so wild,
Yeah.
and then we went on an airboat ride. Tell the story how that happened.
Yeah, we weren't real close. We're probably about 40 miles from where the boat went out.
From Okeechobee.
Like Okeechobee. But we were supposed to go to a spring training game that year, but if the lockout canceled that trip, so we got our money back and went on an airboat ride.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, I walked across the dam. And this is the canal from the other side of the waterway. There's our trailer right there at the end. And they said I could walk across with my bike as long as I didn't ride it across. So you see what a great spot that is, right by the fishing pier on top of the hill. If you could make it to the other side of the lake, canal here, there's a recreation area. I could see it from before. Now here it is. There's a boat launch area here, picnics. So if we could get to this side, pretty cool. Yeah, there's a little boat launch area. You come across. I just have to figure out how you get there from here, from the main road. It comes down here, boat launch. In fact, here comes somebody in. Again, coming out of the Ortona Lock recreation area on the other side from the campground. And you come back out again to some pastures with cows. And all along here, there's a big sidewalk. You can ride all the way down, and somebody says if you go far enough down here, it comes back into town actually, which is about 10 miles away. But a little bit closer, they said there's a bar. Woohoo!
If you like to fish, the river here is a hot spot for bass, crappie, and snook. And you can fish it from a boat or the docks.
Must be a good place to catch fish. So a guy pull one in, he's got some fish there sitting on the walkway pier.
And of course, people aren't the only ones fishing here. Birds are just some of the wildlife, and not so wildlife, at Ortona.
I was sitting here getting ready to go on my bike. This froggy just jumped in my basket. How about that? Must have come out of the palm tree sitting next to me. Hello, little froggy. Oop, there he goes. I'm spying with my little eye two donkeys. They got the crosshatches on their back. Pretty cool.
For those of you not familiar with Florida's exotic wildlife, these are cows. And if you want to experience the wildlife, try a wild ride on an Okeechobee airboat.
Here we go. We're going to get on the boat.
Okay. You go first. Okay.
We're sitting right next to the driver.
That was more fun than the teacups at Disney World, and a fitting way to close out our stay at Ortona. Thanks for stowing away with us, and as always, we'll see you down the road.